everybody. I think I'm a couple of minutes late because Restream changed everything and I had to figure out what the hell I was doing. But we're here now. Every time these sites make changes, they make them worse. Do you remember when they changed YouTube for a couple of days where your comments were no longer on the bottom, they were on the side, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And a couple days later, it was back to normal. So if they don't change this back to the way it was, which was so easy, I'll go to another streaming service because it's ridiculous. Anyway, we're here now. And today we're going to do break-in records. Break-in records are something that a lot of people do collect. Some people don't collect. Let's put our fireplace on. I forgot to put my fireplace on. This is so relaxing. I love it. Don't you love it? And on such a day like today, pouring rain, torrential doom and gloom. Oh, we need stuff like that. Yeah. Almost like a neglected or forgotten kind of collectible area, and I think they're so cool, and I've been collecting them for quite a while, and Craig has found me some amazing break-ins over the years, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. And I did a little bit of research. So we have a break-in is a novelty record which combines spoken word comedy with clips of popular music to create a humorous effect. The subject matter was often inspired by contemporary events or popular culture such as television shows and film. And whatever was in the news or whatever was most popular at the time was at risk of being made into a break-in record. Plus, they used all the hits of that moment as the filler music, and they're so much fun. So we're going to go through break-in records today. We're going to start out with the very first break-in record. Now, the first break-in record was on the Luniverse label. I have this on both 45 and 78. It's Flying Saucer, Part 1 and 2 by Buchanan and Goodman. The first time I heard this, I was a little kid. I was at my grandmother's house, and I was going through my mom's 45 case, which was in my grandmother's closet, and I found this record in there, and I listened to it, and I thought it was so unique and so fun. I think it started my whole journey on break-in records. So I first heard this from my mom. Over here it says crazy novelty. All right. But there's a couple of fun things here. Dickie Goodman was a Brooklyn music and record producer. He was the inventor of the break-in, of course, an early precursor to sampling. And he is known as the king of novelty, which is very fun. This was the first with his partner, Bill Buchanan. A copyright infringement was brought against them for the hits that they were using within the record. But they won their battle with the court saying, well, this is a novelty, so we'll allow it. So that groundbreaking lawsuit that they won made it possible for all novelty artists to go on and do what they do, like Weird Al, you know? So that's very, very interesting. This charted, this particular break-in actually charted at number 3, went all the way up to number 3, which is very interesting. Bill Buchanan, his partner on this record, was actually later was the president of the company that made the disco case. Do you remember the disco cases, the round ones, and the ones that were covered with the fur creatures and that round plastic case that they made a beetle case, they made polka dot cases, they made all different solid color cases. It's a very famous and collectible case. A lot of true record collectors do not put their records in those cases anymore because you have to just stack records without sleeves in those cases, and we don't do that, of course. But anyway, so the Flying Saucer Part 1 and 2, the first break-in where it all began. So this is really, really fun. That was 1956. 1956. I have the Flying Saucer the second on Luniverse, also 1957. Some of these were part 1 and 2, and some of them would have a original tune by Buchanan and Goodman or Dickie Goodman on the flip. And this is pretty fun. And this is one of those. This one has Martian Melody on the other side by the Martian Symphony Orchestra. So this is Flying Saucer the second, Buchanan and Goodman. Very fun. Then we have Flying Saucer the third, another Buchanan and Goodman production. And on the flip was of this one was the Cha-Cha Lesson. Very fun, very novel. Just a great, great thing. And this one is on the Comic Records label. But very interesting. 1959 on this one. Very, very interesting. All right, this one is also from 1956. This one is Out of This World with Flying Saucers, Part 1 and 2. This is Dave Barry and Sarah Berner on the RPM label. 1956, telling us that they were cashing in on Dickie Goodman's fame with the Flying Saucer, exact same year. And so they just copied his idea and ran with it, I guess. But very fun. Sometimes the label, not Buchanan himself, because he wasn't affiliated with a label at the time. Well, he could have been. He was a music and record producer. But a lot of times these break-ins, like post Buchanan and Goodman, would play songs on their break-in that were exclusive to their label. So that might be what this is. I don't remember. All right, here is a much later Dickie Goodman. This is 1985. This was a Z100 radio station record, Attack of the Z Monster by Dickie Goodman, 1985. So Dickie Goodman was still doing stuff in 1985. And this one was for Z100. The flip was Mystery. Very fun. Look at that on the Z100 label. Can you see the label? I'm not sure. Take it out. Very, very cool. This is Buchanan and Goodman once again. This is on Luniverse, 1957, the Banana Boat story. Very, very interesting. And the flip is the mystery in slow motion. How fun. These records are so fun. And being a huge fan of novelty records, these appealed to me from the very start, you know? So very, very fun. Dickie Goodman, he made some of the best ones. I mean, there's other really cool ones out there, but Dickie was famous for this. Okay, here's Dickie Goodman again, 1974 on Rainy Wednesday Records, Energy Crisis. And the flip is Ruthie's theme, Dickie Goodman. Just great. And of course, you know, whatever was happening at the time became Hi Old Radios. Energy Crisis 74. Okay, I'll see you later. Energy Crisis 74. Great stuff. A topic, you know, whatever was popular. I mean, or whatever was current events at the time he would use and make the stories from. And of course, that's what's going with this one. Hi, Trish. This one is on Cash Records, 1975. Of course, Mr. Jaws, when, of course, the movie Jaws came out. It was huge. It was popular. And this is a great, great break-in. The flip is Irv's theme. But Mr. Jaws is, of course, so fun. So very fun. 1975. Cash Records. Next one, same kind of idea, and that would be from 1982, Dickie Goodman doing Hey E.T. on the Extra Records label. Hey E.T., because E.T. was huge at the time. So that was the topic here. I got two here in my hands. What am I doing? The other side is Dickie Goodman, Get a Job. So very, very fun. To me, break-ins are some of the most fun records out there because they're a little time capsule. A lot of records are time capsules, but these are truly a time capsule because I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? No, I guess I didn't notice my influence, Trish. But I lost my train of thought now. A time capsule, because on each and every one of these, depending on the year, the songs chosen were the hits of the day. So every song. Well, yes, I did notice your the influence on one of your mixes with your choices of yes, that's what I was just gonna say with the exotica. I didn't know what you meant. I didn't know you meant personally. I thought you meant overall. Um, yes, on your exotica with the Milt Raskin, and yes, absolutely. That's amazing. Thank you, Trish. So like yes, like what I was saying, each and every song would be of that year, whatever was famous that year, and you're gonna hear a lot of songs that are familiar, of course, but you're gonna say, "Oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that," or whatever. And it's just magical. All right, this one is 1976, and okay, you're going to understand in a minute because this is what something that was popular in 76, And this is The Pet Rocks Are Coming. This by Walter Rockheit. Like Walter Cronkite, you know what I mean? Pet Rocks Are Coming. This, let me see. This is mono. I want to see if I can tell who Walter Rockheit was. No, they don't say it because even the person that wrote it is called Sandy Granite because and this is a promo. The Pet Rocks Are Coming on Westbound. Very fun. You remember Pet Rocks? So in 1976, whatever was popular in the charts at the time, we're on that one, which makes it really fun. All right, next up, we have The Trial by the Legal Eagles. Herb B. Liu and the Legal Eagles. Now, listen to this, guys. Herb B. Liu is Herb Alpert and Lou Adler. How do you like that? How many of you knew that? This is on the Arch Records label. So the other side is Kiss Me by Legal Eagles. This is, what did I say? 1958. Mood Rings. How about Click Clacks? Click Clacks. What was it? Footsie. Do you remember Footsie? So many cool things. We had a lot of fun toys. Everybody remembers creepy crawlers, right? Love them. The Trial. Herb B. Liu, Herb Alpert, Lou Adler. Amazing, right? Very, very interesting. All right. This one is Arbogast and Ross. This is Chaos, part 1 and 2 on the Liberty label. Bob Arbogast was an American radio broadcaster, voice actor, and television host. He teamed with Stanley Ross for Chaos. 10,000 of these sold in 3 days. And then it was banned from radio play on the 4th day when stations realized that it was satirizing top 40 radio, which is pretty amazing, right? So here we have Chaos by Bob Arbogast and Stanley Ross on the Liberty label. Very, very interesting. A lot of these records have such interesting backgrounds, you know? Some of them I can't find any information on, not even who did them, but I tried to find as many as I could find that had some information out there. But some of them are so obscure, there's nothing about them. Okay, 1972, the convention by the Delegates. And the Delegates were the creation of Bob DiCarlo, a DJ at Pittsburgh's KQV. He was approached by local record moguls, Nick Sensi and Nick Kuselios, to make a novelty record. And this is the result. Convention 72, the Delegates. And this is a promo. And it is mono. Very cool. Very, very fun. It's so funny that you mentioned that, Trish. We were just talking about the gas shortage on Friday at Record King. And because we were watching, there's a gas station across the street from us, and we always watch the price fluctuate when we're outside. And we were talking about the odd, even license plates. You could only go with the odd on one day, the even on another. During the gas crisis. It's amazing that you brought that up. And I remember I used to hate sitting online. And my dad used to take, I was only 17 during the gas shortage crisis. So I had just started driving, and pretty much, or maybe within a couple of years. Yeah, maybe within a year or two. And my dad used to take my car on odd or even Sundays and fill my car or fill his car, whatever. Because I hated sitting in that line. Hated it. That's what's so fun about breaking records is, like I said, a capsule in time. Whatever was happening during that time, during that year, during, everything. It's just so interesting. All right. Another Dickie Goodman, 1969. This was on the Cotique label. This is on Campus. Very, very cool. Dickie Goodman, genius, brilliant. I mean, so excited that he kept going for so many years, and his break-ins are usually unsurpassed. You know what I mean? All right, this is an interesting one. This is 1973 on the Blue Sky label. This is the story of Daddy Cool by Daddy Cool. We all know the song Daddy Cool, Daddy Cool. But this is totally different. This is the story of Daddy Cool by Daddy Cool. And I could find nothing about Daddy Cool out there in Wikiland or anywhere else. So nothing about it, but it is a great, great breaking record. Yes, I did see your grow art. It sounds beautiful. Really beautiful. It sounds great. I knew it would once it was fixed. Once it was, once it got what it needed. It's a beautiful piece. All right, we have another Dickie Goodman, and this one is Jerry Ford, A Special Report. Again, Rainy Wednesday Records, and the flip is Robert. So here we go. Yeah, Cab Calloway is a lot of fun. This is great stuff from Dickie in 1974. All right. On the Amy label, we have the Presidential Press Conference, Part 1 and 2 by the Sicknicks. And all I could find out about the Sicknicks, I could not find who they were comprised of, just that they were a made-up group associated with Sick Magazine. Couldn't find any breakdown of who they were, but you do remember Sick Magazine. It was kind of like Mad Magazine, but here are the Sicknicks, 1961, the Presidential Press Conference. Very, very fun. Well, at least it's working now and it has beautiful sound, so you could be happy about that. All right, another Dickie Goodman on Mark X, The Touchables. So great. It's funny, Martian Melody is on this too. Or a version of Martian Melody is on here anyway. But 1961, The Touchables. This one's great. It's so funny. It's like gangstery kind of fun. Like the Untouchables, The Touchables. Really, really great. All right. On Mark X label again, 1961. This is Dickie Goodman doing The Touchables in Brooklyn. This is really fun. Touchables in Brooklyn. Great stuff. And the other side is Mystery. I believe we had Mystery on the flip of an earlier one also. Isn't that awesome? Do you believe how many break-ins there are? It's just amazing. All right, on the Hotline label, 1979, again, Dickie Goodman, Energy Crisis. Energy Crisis 79. I think he did 74, 79. There were, I think, 3 different Energy Crisis ones, and the other side is Pain. I hope they packed that 78 well, because sometimes these sellers have no clue. Energy Crisis 79. Very, very fun. All right. The Impeachment Story on Peachment Records by Steele, Jake, and Jeff. Could not find anything about them. This is 1974. And the flip is Heavy Steppin' by Lou Toby and his Heavies. Very, very fun. These are so amazing. If you can find yeah. Obviously Dr. Demento does do some of these and has some of these, but there's nothing like these kind of records. They are so fun. But like I said, Steele, Jake, and Jeff, I couldn't find anything about them, but it's very fun. All right. Now we have Kelly and Me. I don't think I could find anything on them either. Nope. The Tragedy. Kelly and Me on Help label. This one, what did I say? 19. Oh, this is 1958. This is an older one. Look at that. Yeah, I love Dr. Demento because he knows novelty. That's for sure. Novelty and obscure. So I love him. And I have a couple of his, but even more than that, I like the, even more than him, I like the, oh, Craig gives me a lot of them. Let me think. The Rhino. Uh, the Rhino comps, the compilations of really either really bad, worst songs ever made, or novelty, obscure novelties, or those kind of things. I love those. The Tragedy, Kelly and Me. No idea who they are. You guys might know. Somebody might know out there. All right, on MK Records, we have Report to the Nation, Part 1 and 2, Winkley and Nutley. The Winkley and Nutley were Jimmy Stagg and Bob Mitchell. They were both radio DJs from San Francisco, WYKYA. So a lot of DJs, music industry people, and stuff like that. Report to the Nation, Part 1 and 2, MK Records. Very, very cool. This is a great one. This is a great one. On Bang Records. This is 1974. This is called Grand Canyon by Evil Boll Weevil. Evil Boll Weevil. Was I able to figure out who he was? No. It says Jeff McKee. But anyway, this is about what's his name? Evil Knievel's Grand Canyon jump. So again, current events. And the other side is Got to Find My Way Back. No clue. Very fun. All right, next we have on Pirate Records, we have Manny Soots, Cape Canaveral, Part 1 and 2. And Manny was a Hollywood DJ. He was Hollywood DJ Red Blanchard on K-pop. So this is 1958, early stuff. Very, very fun. Okay, next up we have Nikita the K. Go Go Radio Moscow. This is another promo. This is Warner Brothers. The Friends of Ed Lubunsky. The spoiler is the flip. But I believe Nikita the K was Ed Lubunsky. It's just a great, great thing. Really cool. And every one of these has to be listened to really appreciate. You know what I mean? We could talk about. Yeah, right. Exactly, right? Old radios. All right. So, 1974, The Trial of the President, Part 1 and 2, by Danny O. Blind Justice Records. Very interesting, obscure, weird break in here. Here we go. Blind Justice. Pasantino and Ostrom by Danny O. The Trial of the President. Produced by Sal Pastino and Dennis Ostrom. Very, very cool. All right. Another great. This is one of Craig's favorites. This is Dickie Goodman once again doing Ben Crazy on the Diamond label. This is 1962. And the other side is called Flip Side, which is so funny. But we have Ben Crazy right here. This is a great one. And of course, Ben Casey was very popular at this time. So we got Ben Crazy. Very, very cool. All right. Now we have. This is very interesting. It's on the Gem KL label, 1974. This is Dan Dayton doing Sky Blab. And the other side is, meanwhile, back on the air, Martin Top 40. Very, very interesting. Sky Blab. All right. Next up on the Funny Bone label. This is the Watergate Report by Loco. What year is this? Did I not write it on? Huh. I did not write the year on this. But it would have been the era of Watergate, of course. Yes, I have that too. That is a really, really, really fun one. Wild thing. I love that. It's very funny. It's yes, Robert F. Kennedy. Right. Hilarious. I love that. The Watergate Report by Loco. The flip is Loco Music. I didn't date that. I don't know why. Oh, maybe I did. Here I go. 73. The era of Watergate. All right. Now we have Len Weinrob. He was a comedic actor who was in HR Puffin stuff. He made guest appearances on The Munsters, Happy Days, Adam 12. I mean, pretty famous guy. This is 1962 Press Conference by Len Weinrib. Weinrib. What did I say? Weintraub? Matt Weinrib. On Capitol. The other side is Theme from Press Conference by the White House Band. Very, very cool. This is a unique one. This is 1957. This is Around the World with Elwood Pretzel by Lee Tully. Parts 1 and 2. Really, really great stuff on the Flair label. This is very, I believe this is quite obscure. Me and Craig found it. We didn't realize. Yeah, pretty much. I don't remember. I was too young, but I do remember the whole. I remember it was big. You know, I remember all the adults talking about it and stuff. So 1957 on that one. Around the World with Elwood Pretzel. How cool. All right, very interesting. On Jubilee, this is Valachi Sings, of course, Valachi, the guy who brought down the mob, right? But Larry Storch did this. Larry Storch from F Troop. How cool is that? That is so amazingly cool. And this is a great one. Very good. Okay, one of my favorites, of course, Novelty Records, Frankenstein of 59 by Buchanan and Goodman. 1959, of course. Frankenstein of 59. And the other side is Frankenstein Returns. Amazing stuff. This is one that everybody has to have, especially if you're a horror collector. So I do have a copy of this. I have a copy of this in my horror collection, and I have a copy in my break-in collection, just because you have to, All right, famous, 1969, Moonflight, Vic Venus, on, of course, Buddha. Just a great one. And Vic Venus, it says, Alias, your main moon man. And the other side is Everybody's on Strike. Great, great stuff. Did I give you the year? 1969 on that one. Really great. Buchanan and Goodman on Trial, 1956. This one goes all the way back to Flying Saucer. Buchanan and Goodman on Trial. This is when they were brought, after they were brought to court for Flying Saucer. They put this one out after they won. So we have the same year. Buchanan and Goodman on Trial, parts 1 and 2. Great stuff on Luniverse. I think it's great that they oh, wow. That would have been a that would have been a really fun thing to own. So this is great. Luniverse 1956. All right, we're getting down to some of my favorites here. And first I want to say there's two that I already have that I couldn't find. There's only one more place they could be, and I didn't have a chance to look for them. One is Superfly meets Shaft, and the other one is Watergate. I have both of those, but I couldn't find them. And I also have two on the way from England. I did not know that England had break-in records, but these are both Christmas themed. And I collect Christmas, so I had to have these. And they are Rent a Santa and Bionic Santa, both by Chris Hill. So I'm very excited about those. They're on the way. All right. This is very interesting. This is a one-sided record. This is by Mr. Hip, and this is a promo. Sloopy and the Red Moron. This is such a great one. One-sided. This is so great. It's like Snoopy and the Red Baron, but it's Sloopy and the Red Moron. This is 67. This has some of the best break-in music ever. So, of that great, era. So that's a great one. Okay. Two very, very, very special ones. We have The Invasion by Buchanan and Greenfield. Howard Greenfield was actually a composer. It was part of the Brill Building. So I know. Trish, did you have any idea there were this many break-ins out there? Until I compiled them all together, pulled them all from all over the place and put them in one place, I was like, wow, This is a lot of break-ins, you know? Um, and there's even more than this, but I mean, this is a good portion of them, you know? Um, all right, The Invasion, Buchanan and Goodman on Novel Records. This is 1964. This is the Beatle invasion. This is the Beatles invasion. This is so amazing. The British invasion, let's say. But they talk about the Beatles, you know, this is really, really good. Yeah, I know. It's amazing, right? Um, the Invasion, Buchanan and Goodman, Beatles break-in. And the other one is Ed Solomon, 1964, on Diamond, doing the Beatle Flying Saucer. So we have another Beatles break-in here. This is great. The Beatles ones are harder to find than the others, but I'm sure that if you went on Discogs or eBay, you could find them. Hey, Vinyl Richie. The 45 rabbit hole, you can't even believe how deep that thing goes, right? But there the two Beatle uh the two Beatle break-ins are a little more desirable because they're crossover collectibles, you know. Beatles fans like them, and break-in people like them. And so we got the Beatle Flying Saucer, Ed Solomon, 1964, and we have The Invasion by Buchanan and Greenfield, 1964. So that's British Invasion. And then we got the Beatle Flying Saucer. Very, very, very fun. Yes, I have We Love You Beatles also. I also have I want a Beatle for Christmas. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of really great songs. And our last two are again the great Buchanan and Goodman and one Dickie Goodman. This one is Santa and the Satellite, 1957. So we have our Christmas break in here, Santa and the Satellite, part 1 and 2. How cool is that? Richie, I did a what do you call it? A live of all the old horror records last week. And there were like 80 old horror records that I had. And we left out the new horror records because I knew it would just go on forever. So the next one will be like the newer stuff. And but yeah, my boyfriend got a Beatle haircut. That's another one. But yeah, so at some point we'll do the newer horror and the psychobilly and stuff like that. But the old horror 45s are really fun to go through. So Santa and the Satellite, Buchanan and Goodman, 1957. So they did Frankenstein of 59, Halloween break-in, Christmas break-ins, political break-ins, everything you can think of, you know. And then our last one is going to be Santa and the Touchables by Dickie Goodman on the Rory label. This is so great. The other side is North Pole Rock by Dickie Goodman. Unfortunately, North Pole Rock is just an instrumental. I would have loved if it had lyrics, you know, but still, North Pole Rock, that's pretty cool. But so that's the last one. I think we wound up with 50 or something. But there's so many of them out there, and so many of the artists, aside from Goodman and Buchanan, were DJs from around the country, which is kind of cool, you know. But anyway, it's a horrifyingly gloomy, rainy, horrible day. So it was the perfect day to do this live stream. And I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. And I hope I turned you on to a few things that you didn't know about. And I think that break-ins are really, really fun records and well worth looking into, well worth collecting because they are so much fun to listen to, you know. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Very fun. Trish, I'll see you later. Richie, thanks for coming in. Old Radios, thanks for being here. So that's about it for me, guys. Comment, subscribe, spread the love. Tink merch below, Radio Tink podcast link below, Patreon link below. Till next time, remember, in a black and white world, live a Technicolor life. I'll see you all next time. I love you all. Hi, Jenny. You got here late. Or maybe you were here the whole time. I don't know. But you can go back and watch from the beginning. I will see you all later. I love you all. Mwah.